Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you guys? Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Okay, how are you guys doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's program. Welcome to today's program. I believe you guys are doing okay. All right, let's see what we're going to do today in the next 1 hour. Okay, what are the bed routines? What are the bed manners? Let me use the word manners. What are the bed routines for people living with diabetics? Okay, there are certain things, if you're diabetics, there are routines you have to do each and every day to be able to have a very good night's sleep. What are those routines for people living with diabetics? We shall go through them one after the other. All right, please indicate where you are watching from. I have to adjust my light. Just a minute. Okay, just a minute. I have to adjust. All right. Are you guys there? How are you guys? Please indicate for me where you are watching from. All right. I need to know where you guys are watching from. We're going to discuss uh, routines for people living with bad diabetics. What are your bed manners? Okay. As a diabetics, there are manners you have to encourage or practice or use. There are things you're supposed to do before going to bed. Those are the routines. Those are the bed manners for people living with diabetics. Kindly indicate to me where you are watching from, please. Kindly indicate to me where you are watching from. So, what are your bed manners? What are those routines? It's what we are going to go through today. So, we're going to spend about an hour today. I'm going to try to make sure I finish it in an hour. All right, so that I can have a rest and enjoy my Easter Sunday. Tomorrow is back to work. So, what are those bed routines? I need you guys. I need you guys to indicate to me where you guys are watching from, please. So, we're going to look at those bed manners. If you're a diabetic, there are certain things you're supposed to do before going to bed. Is what we're going to look at in terms of blood sugar checks. And there's something I've repeated it several times in terms of something we call Down phenomenon. What are Down phenomenon? You guys remember that word? Down phenomenon. What are your limit stimulants? And then what are the things you're supposed to do before you go to bed? You prepare your bedroom, especially if you're a diabetic. What are those things you are supposed to do? So we're going to look at those routines. As a diabetic, there are certain things you're supposed to practice each and every night, okay, to make sure you are managing your diabetics properly. Uh, we have Gabrieline from Nigeria. You're welcome. It's like this is your first time, Gabrieline. It's like this is your first time to see you, Nigeria. You're welcome. All right. So we shall discuss those things. Okay. What are those things? What are those things? Your bed manners before you go to bed. Let's look at it this morning. So we have a new member joining the community today, Gabrieline. As I said, this is my first time to see her on my live video. You are welcome, and I believe you're going to be a dedicated member to this community. All right. Now, Grace, I acknowledge your presence. I know Grace is one of our fully dedicated member here. You are welcome. Good morning. Happy Easter Sunday. And then we have our new member, Grace, watching from Nigeria. You are welcome. So, those that are watching, please indicate where you're watching from. Now, having diabetics, okay? Having diabetics comes with a lot of headache. Having diabetes comes with a lot of headache and stress. Brian, I've announced your presence. You're welcome. Okay. Now, having diabetics comes with a lot of headache and stresses. Confusion because you don't know where you're starting from and where you're heading to. So, this particular topic, we're going to deal with what are your bed manners as a diabetic. There are certain things you're expected to do before you go to bed. As I said previously in my other videos, you wake up in the morning, you start with checking your blood sugar levels. Before you go to bed, you have to end up with checking your sugar levels. In between the morning time and before you go to bed, during the daytime, you also have to check your sugar levels. Each and every time you check your sugar level, you must write your sugar level down. All right? You must write your sugar level down. You must get a notebook or get a clinical log or a logbook. You must write, okay. Excuse me, just for 2 minutes, let me get you I just received a new one because the one I'm using before is filled up. I just got a new one of my own logbook. Let me just go and grab it. I just got it yesterday. Let me grab it. I'm going to share it with you guys. Right, I'm back. All right, I'm back. Okay, now, as I said, when you start in the morning, don't just check your sugar level and then you just, oh, it's okay, and then you just go. No, that is wrong. You've still not complete your job. Each and every time you check your sugar level, it must be written down. All details, date, time, before meal, after meal, whatever time you check your sugar level must be written down on a book, and you must have at least keep with you at all times 2 weeks of your sugar readings with you at all times. Even when you are leaving home, you must carry them along in your bag in case of an emergency. So we call it a cleaning log, or other people use it as a logbook. So this is what is called a cleaning log. All right. So you have it this way, or you can invent your own. Most of those diabetes care you buy, like the machine and the lancets, most of them comes with it, or you can go to a pharmacy and then get your own. All right. Now on this, okay, you're going to record all your personal information here, your status of your diabetes, okay, your address, everything, your phone number, your doctor's information, okay, and your next of kin. Okay, all these things must be recorded, and then the drugs you are taking, the drugs prescribed by a doctor must be written down there, and then accordingly, how you take those drugs. You must write all those things down. So if there is an emergency, you are out of home, you are involved in an accident, or you are out of home and then you have an emergency, diabetic emergency that you are rushed to the hospital, this would help the hospital, okay, to know your status, and it's even going to save you your life because they already have all the information here. on your status of your health, that you're diabetes, and these are the medication you are taking. Not only that, it has your doctor's information. So if the clinic or the hospital are confused on your status, they can reach your doctor on the phone to guide that hospital, okay, or call in the doctor if it's within the area to come in and then help to stabilize your condition. That is why you must have these books. The medication you are taking, the order you are taking it, your status of your diabetics, when, your address, next of kin is all indicated. You must write them here. Now, once you've done that, it also give you an alternative of other languages. Say, for instance, you can write them in English and also write them in your own traditional language so that, not everybody can understand English. So you might be in a rural area where they cannot understand English, but because you translate whatever you've written there in your own language, you'll be able to read your language and able to help you out. So it gives you an option, English and your other languages, to translate it there. All right. Now, the next thing here is once you keep opening the page, it gives you the guidelines. Okay. It gives you the guideline how you are going to record your sugar levels in here. Okay. On the model, on the way to record your sugar levels. Now, and also tells you when your sugar level is high or low. It guides you there when you take your sugar level, and then you can refer to this page and see, okay, this is my sugar level, but this is what the book says. That can give you an insight on what if your sugar level is okay or not. Then on this page here is where you write all your sugar readings. Okay, on this page, whatever time, day, before meal, after meal, you record all your sugar levels in here. Okay, you record them everything here until it gets filled up. And if you eat anything in between in the morning to the next lunch, you have to write it down. This is what I ate. Now, the essence of this clinical log book is what we are going to discuss today is part of what we're going to discuss today. Because if you start in the morning with taking your sugar level, you also have to end up with taking your sugar level. So if you are having diabetics, as I said, okay, it can make life very difficult for you. And also you find it very difficult to sleep at times. You might be find it very difficult to sleep or to fall asleep. All right. But there are things you can do to improve your bedtime routines or your bedtime manner if you're a diabetic. That is what I'm about to discuss this morning. Please indicate to me where you are watching from. All right. Indicate to me where you are watching from, please. And those that are joining us now, kindly indicate to us where you are watching from. Okay. Let me put this. So, having diabetics, okay, can make it hard to fall asleep and stay asleep. But there are things you can do to improve your bedtime routine. And these are the things we shall be discussing today. Okay, they are the things we shall be discussing today. Now, managing your diabetics, whether you have type 1 or type 2 diabetics, okay, which is the most popular type of diabetics we have, is either type 1 or type 2 diabetics, is more than a handful. It's a full-time job. As I said, it comes with a lot of headache. Your condition doesn't clock out at 5 p.m. like if you are doing 9 to 5 job. Like for instance, those that are do from morning 9 to 5 jobs, it's okay. Once it's 5 o'clock, I'm done. No. Once you have this condition called diabetics, you don't clock out at 5 p.m. or when you are ready to take your break. Okay. Juggling, you have to be juggling between your sugar checks, medications, exercise, and eating habits are all part of managing your blood sugar level. All right. They are all part of managing your blood sugar levels. Just for instance, We have Eric. So now what I was trying to say. Okay, I was trying to make a point. I says managing diabetics, whether you have type 1 or type 2 diabetics, is more than a full-time job. Your condition doesn't clock out at 5 p.m. when you are ready to, or when you are ready to take your break. Okay, you juggle between your blood sugar checks, medications, exercise, and eating habits are all part of managing your blood sugar levels. So the mental load, okay, doesn't stop you from doing other things. You must also concentrate on the things that matters a lot during your bedtime. So there are things you can do before bedtime to help your blood sugar level stay stable overnight in order for you not to encounter what we call Dan phenomenon. There are also strategies that may improve your sleep. So these are the things we are going to look into this afternoon. Now, some people living with diabetes can have can have an effect, can have an after effect of sleep. All right. Blood sugar can drop or rise overnight, interrupting your sleep. So even at midnight when you are sleeping, your blood sugar also fluctuates. It can drop, and once it drops, that's why sometimes when you're like in the middle of the night, all of a sudden you are sweating. You see that your bed is wet, and you're wondering, why am I sweating in the middle of the night? Yes, the reason is once your sugar level drop below the normal line, remember sweating is part of the symptoms once your sugar level drop. So if you woke up in the middle of the night, it's not like the weather is hot. The temperature is okay, but you could see that you are sweating, and you could see that the bed is wet, or even if your bed is not wet, but you could see that your body is sweating. That is symptoms of low blood sugar. So it means your blood sugar drops. So you can, as soon as you wake up, that middle of the night, check your sugar level immediately, and you can see that the sugar level drops. You also have to treat that symptom immediately, even though it's the middle of the night. You have to find something that contains sugar to boost it up. So there's a fluctuation of your sugar level even when you are asleep, and that can affect your sleep. Okay, so it's going to even interrupt the way you sleep. So before you set your alarm and settle in under the cover of each night, here are the few things. Okay, the do's and don'ts you could try in order to get a very good night's sleep if you're a diabetic. So we shall look at all those things to know how uh, it works better for you. All right, let's see. Okay, so now do not forget to have your clean log books. All right. Now, first thing, as I said, in the morning, you start with when you wake up, the first thing you have to do before you even start doing anything is to check your sugar level. And it also have to end up at night before your bedtime to check your sugar level. So, what are the things you're supposed to do? What are those bed manners? One is checking your blood sugar level. It's very important. Before you go to bed, check your sugar levels. It is very important. All right. Regular sugar checks are a big part of managing your diabetes. It is compulsory as a diabetes to keep regularly checking your sugar level. Okay. So even though you're already checking your sugar level at different times of the day, including in the morning, before eating, before all meals in general, and after meal. Okay. Bedtime is another good time to test your sugar level. Okay, it is good idea to keep your blood sugar levels at all time normal before you head to bed. Understanding the number, understanding your sugar level before bedtime is going to give you an indication how your night is going to go in order to avoid down phenomenon or the fluctuation of your sugar level rising and falling or stabilizing during your sleeps and then interrupting the way you sleep. That is why I see some people when they are rolling from one end to another. Those rolling, if you are diabetic and you are rolling, you are not stable, you see that you are rolling from one end to another, or you are sharing a bed with your son or your daughter or your wife, it's like you want to push your wife or your husband out of the bed. these are the indications of the fluctuation of your sugar level, because now it's interrupting the way you sleep. So you are trying to find a better position to stabilize your sugar level. And that is why you see you rolling from one end to another, because during midnight, even when you are asleep, your sugar level keeps fluctuating and then interrupt your bedtime. So bedtime is another good time to test. It is a good idea to keep your blood sugar level goal at bedtime in a range that is not going to be in a fluctuation syndrome. For instance, what do we mean by fluctuation syndrome? If you're supposed to keep your sugar level, say, for instance, at 7, it must not creep over 7, but make sure you keep it between 4.5 and 7. All right? There's something we call fluctuation syndrome. And then you have to go to bed, say, for instance, 11 p.m. And it's okay, at 11 p.m., I have to be at the bed. And then you approach your bed, and it's okay, there's one more thing I have to do. You want to check your blood sugar level. So we already know that you must keep your sugar level between 4.5 and 7. You don't want it to go below 4.5 or go below 4. All right? And then you make sure that it's under 7, not to go above 7. Then you check your sugar level is at 6.5. Good. Your sugar level is under 7, but it's at 6.5 or 6.7. But what is the difference between 7 and 6.5 is the difference of 0.5. So you could see you're going to be having any fluctuation. The way you sleep is going to trip your sugar level to go high because you are close to the maximum. So that is what we call fluctuation syndrome. So making sure that your sugar level before bedtime is at a moderate range, keeping within 5, 5.5, 5.1. At least you know there's a distance between 5.5 to 7. So even though there's a fluctuation in your sugar level, there's no way it's going to trip over 7 and then disturb your sleep or fall down. Say, for instance, the opposite to 6.5 to 7 reaction. Now, you are going to try to make sure, say, for instance, you check your sugar level, and then you want to make sure that if your sugar level is at 4.5, 4.8, 5, it's okay. But when you check your sugar level at 11 p.m., you're going to bed, and it's about, say, 4.1, you could see you are trending towards hypoglycemia. So if there's any fluctuation during your sleep, your sugar level is going to dip below the normal level, and that is what you start experiencing the symptoms of low blood sugar levels. And then you start sweating, and then you start rolling from one end to another. So understanding your sugar level before you go to bed plays a vital role if you're going to have a good night's sleep. So you are targeting to keep your sugar level in a moderate situation, in between those target range. Say, okay, I want every night before I go to bed, let it be at 5 or 5.5. So it's not tilting towards hypoglycemia and it's not tilting towards hyperglycemia, because any fluctuation syndrome, you are still within the range. And you're going to have a very good night. So understanding your sugar level before bedtime plays a vital role if you're going to have a fluctuation syndrome or a down phenomenon. I'm going to explain to you guys what down phenomenon is all about. All right. So that is why it's good checking your blood sugar level before bedtime. It is good. All right. Now, it is natural for blood sugar to be on the higher end of that range if you eat close to going to bed. And that is why I've said to you guys, make sure you eat your heavy dinner before 7. Don't eat it after 7 when it is close to time to bed, because it's going to affect your sugar level really in the morning, or definitely you're going to experience down phenomenon. Okay. So eating meal in the last 2 hours of your bedtime is not good. Okay. So if it is on the lower end of the range, you may consider having a snack to prevent your blood sugar from going too low. So that's why I've said to you guys, do not eat your heavy meal before you go to bed. Eat it before 7, so that from 7 till about midnight, your food might have metabolized and settled down. But if after 7 you need to eat something, go for a snack, a lighter food. Take a fruit of orange or apple or avocado, okay, something, or salad or a vegetable soup. Those are snacks that is not going to have a major effect in the fluctuation of sugar level or for you to experience down phenomenon. So these are some of the reasons why testing your sugar level before bedtime, it is necessary for you to understand how your blood sugar level behave. And also it's also going to tell you your behavior, your lifestyles. So if at every night before you go to bed, you are checking your blood sugar level, okay? Chad, you're welcome. So now, if at every night, say Monday, you check your sugar level, each and every time you check your sugar level, it is close to 7 or it's close to 4.1. You check Tuesday before you go to bed, it's always in close towards those end. You check Wednesday, that shows your lifestyle isn't that all that good. There is something you are eating. First of all, there's something you are eating that is not balancing well. That's going to tell you there's something you are doing wrong, even though your sugar level are still within the range, but both times they are tilting towards over or lower. So you have to modify the time you eat and the kinds of food you eat so that you can bring your sugar level closer to the middle where it's going to be stable, so that you don't experience down phenomenon or interruption in your sleep. So checking your blood sugar all time before bedtime is one, you're going to learn how your blood sugar behave. Two, you're also going to learn about your lifestyle, things you are doing. It's going to send you a message. There are some certain things I'm doing that is not right. Why is it all the time when I check my sugar level is close to 7 or close to 4.1, below the hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia? Why is it not 5.1 or 5? So now you have to modify the kinds of food you eat and the time you eat. And then if you are not exercising, you have to now involve exercising in order to bring your sugar level within that middle where it's going to be stable to avoid down phenomenon. So bedtime is another good time to test. It is good to keep your blood sugar goal at bedtime in the range, okay, in the range of 80 to 180 milligram per deciliter, okay. Let me share this with you guys. So bedtime is another good time to test. It is a good idea to keep your blood sugar goal at bedtime in the range of 80 to 180 milligram per deciliter. Okay. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? All right. Okay. So I believe you guys understand all what I just said now. Okay. All right. So these are all what I just explained to you guys now. Okay. These are all what I just explained to you guys now. All right, I'm going to run it one more time. Okay, let's go. I'm going to run it one more time for you guys to read it. These are all what I just explained now. Okay, I'm going to run it. Let's go start over. I want you guys to read it. Okay, I'm going to run it one more time. So read what I just posted on the video. You see what is showing on the camera there. So I'm running it one more time for you guys to understand what I just explained. Why it is good for you to check your blood sugar level before you go to bed. All right. Okay. So let's go to the next one. I just explained this to you guys that once you start seeing there are certain things you're going to be seeing in your blood sugar level, it becomes a pattern. Then that means there's something you are doing wrong. Okay. And then you have to change, modify it. Okay. And then let's go to the next one. Okay. I want you guys to read it, and then we'll go to the next second one. If your blood sugar level is high before bed, it is more likely to stay higher overnight and be above target in the morning. So having the occasional high blood sugar before bed can happen to anyone with diabetics. All right. Then the last one is, if you start to notice that your blood sugar is often above target before bedtime, there are things you can do. Okay. We're going to discuss those things, those steps you can do. Talk to your doctor about managing blood sugar at this time of the day. That is, how can you manage your blood sugar level at bedtime? All right. I believe you guys understood what I just said. So let me remove it, and then I have some questions here I need to attend to. Grace, let me see what Eric is trying to say here. Further, if you have time, is it safe to fast? I know Eric, anytime Eric shows up on a live conversation, know that there's a problem or there's a question. And once you answer that question, you're not going to see Eric for the next 1 year. So let me see what Eric is. Eric says, further, if you have, there's another question you asked before. I said, let me see, out of topic question, sensor. Let me see what he says. Out of topic question, diabetic sensors, watching from, I don't know what you mean, Eric. I don't know what you mean by diabetic sensors, watching from Zambia. Diabetic sensors. I don't understand this. You have to clarify that one. Let me go to your second question. Chad, you're welcome. Where are you watching me? Chad, I'm DJ Sis. Where are you watching from? Chad. Grace, I welcome you. Brian, I'm coming to your question. Let me see what Eric is. Further, if you have time, is it safe to fast as diabetic with proper monitoring? Could there be any advantages with diabetes that come with fasting? I've told you guys, I think we discussed these things day before yesterday on Friday about fasting. Okay, if you are skipping meal is gonna make you to have hyperglycemia, or skipping meal can make you have hyperglycemia or hypoglycemia. We discussed it, I think, on Friday. Okay, when you skip meal, the people don't understand about fasting. If you're a diabetic, for instance, you guys have to understand something very well. I've said it several times. The way you guys, as a diabetic, the way you guys understand fasting to somebody that is not diabetic, that is fasting, is not the same. The way you guys apply, for instance, if I'm not, like, for instance, like our Muslim brothers and our Christian brothers that just finished their Lent. In Christian, we call it Lent, when they fast for 40 days before Easter. Then our Muslim brothers, when they are fasting, those who are not diabetic. So our natural fasting, say for instance, somebody that is not a diabetic want to fast. When you are fasting, that understanding of fasting does not apply to you as a diabetic. In a diabetic person, it has an opposite reaction. People think that when they fast, as you know you're a diabetic and you fast, it's going to make your sugar level stabilize. No. When you skip meal, it's going to shoot up your sugar level. So that's why you guys have to understand that it has opposite reaction to somebody who is just ordinary fasting. Okay, so if you think that skipping meal, oh, you know what, if I skip 1 or 2 meals, it's going to make my sugar level come down. No, you are going to have the opposite reaction by shooting up your sugar level up, or forcing your sugar level to drop down below sugar level, because you don't have carbohydrate. Your body lacks energy. There's no glucose in your body. So I've said it several times, and several. Okay, I don't see any reason why a diabetic person wants to fast. Why? What are you fasting for? Somebody with diabetes say, I want to fast. What are you fasting for? Fasting to do what? I've answered this question countless times. People ask me that question countless times, and I keep getting it. All right, we did. I think on Friday when we discussed something about glucose. We discussed, watch the video about glucose, and there's a symptom in there. Yes, that was on Friday. We discussed glucose. You go and watch that video. When you, I don't see no any sense a diabetic person want to fast. What are you fasting for? It doesn't make no sense. You're supposed to be supplying your body with energy. You know you are lacking energy, and then you want to fast. Fast for what? When the food is there, it doesn't make no sense. I've said it several times, and people keep asking that question. The way you guys understand fasting for somebody that is not diabetic is not the way it applies to a diabetic person. Why should I fast when I have food here, and I need to keep my body hydrated, and then keep myself? I need that energy. I need to stabilize my sugar level. So why do I need to fast? To do what? To punish myself, to force my sugar level to come down, or to shoot up my sugar level? So I've said it several times. You guys, fasting does not stabilize your sugar level, nor does it make your sugar level to no. Rather, it gives you the opposite reaction. And that is why the portion control comes in. Size of your food comes in. Okay? That is why hunger is a symptom of diabetic. So people would say since hunger is a symptom of diabetes, so why should I be eating? No. There's a reason why hunger is a symptom of diabetic. All right? So when you're a diabetic, the way your system works differs from somebody that is not diabetic. It differs. When you eat 7 o'clock in the morning, check your sugar level when you wake up. All right? Check your sugar level when you wake up. 7 o'clock in the morning. Eat heavy breakfast in the morning. Eat a heavy breakfast in the morning. Don't eat a small breakfast. Eat heavy breakfast in the morning, 7 o'clock. And that breakfast must be healthy, balanced. And also take into consideration your carb counting, that 15 grams of carbohydrate in it. Eat it heavy, 7 o'clock. I want you guys to tell me, when do you start feeling hunger? You see that in the next 3-4 hours, you start feeling hungry. Where does the food that you just finished eating goes within that 4 hours period? When you are diabetics, your body burns a lot of carbohydrate, burns a lot of glucose. And that is why within 3-4 hours, you start feeling hungry, because you've exhausted the energy that you have. So you need to top it up. And if you don't top it up, your sugar level is going to come down. That's why you become weak and tired, because now you are dropping your sugar level to hypoglycemia. Now, if your body, for instance, that is why you develop ketones, all right, which is toxic to your kidney and your systems. Now, what happens is that if you are feeling hungry, that time you're supposed to eat, and you refuse to eat. Okay, you refuse to eat. Now, I've told you guys yesterday, all right, once your sugar is above the normal range, Say, for instance, this is the level your sugar can rise. It can't go above this. I'm using this, use my clothes, use my neck clothes here. This is the level your sugar can rise. It can't go beyond, it can't come here. Okay, so your sugar level must stop here. Use my clothes, my neck color here, as the level your sugar level can rise. If it goes beyond that, it becomes too much. Now, if your sugar level crosses this shirt here and stays here, it is now too much. That excess sugar that is floating. That excess sugar is not supposed to be floating around in your system. It is when it is floating, that is when it becomes dangerous to your life and to your organs. Because when that excess sugar that is floating in your bloodstream, that is when it is causing those damages to your nerves, your blood vessels, attacking your kidney, attacking your liver. Because it is not supposed to be floating around. What it's supposed to do was, as soon as your sugar level crosses this here and come here, your brain is going to send signal to pancreas to release insulin. And then that insulin is going to come and mop the excess sugar and then drive them into the cells of your body. When the sugar is floating around, it cannot be classified as a fuel that your body needs to use as energy. That energy you need to cultivate, to run, to do anything, to make love to your wife, to your husband, that energy, it cannot be classified as a fuel because as it is floating around, it is causing damages to your health. It's supposed to go into the cells of your body. It is when that excess sugar enters the cells of your body, then we can classify it as a fuel that your body needs as energy, to give you that energy in the muscle. That is why you're able, because that's your muscle. You use a muscle to lift. You use a muscle to go to the farm and tilt. It's from the muscle. So when the muscle lack energy, it's not accessing glucose. So what happens that when your glucose is floating around, your cells is not accessing glucose to be used as energy. That's why you become weak and tired. That excess glucose is supposed to go into the cells of your muscle. That is when you have energy to run, to farm, to do anything. So when that energy in the muscle is not there, when there is no glucose, you become weak because your cells is not accessing glucose. It's just floating around. That is when it becomes insulin resistance. So what happened? If your cells of your body is not accessing glucose to be used as energy, now it is going to start eating down the good fat in your body. Because remember, your glucose is stored in fat. Okay? When it supplies your muscles with the fuel that it needs, then the excess one, because the muscle has a limit, it can accept glucose. So when your muscle accepts all those and it is food, then the remaining glucose is going to be stored into the fat and liver to be used later. So when the energy that you stored in your muscle is finished, then the one that is stored in the fat is going to release into the muscle to continue using it. So when the one you stored in your muscle is finished and it goes to the fat and there's no energy there, what happens is start eating those fat. That is why you see that you are losing unnecessary weight. You say, why am I losing unnecessary weight when I'm not doing anything? That is when you start eating those fat to be used as fuel. And in the process of eating those fat, it releases those ketones. Those ketones is what is very dangerous to your system that causes you to have ketoacidosis and see chronic kidney diseases. Because of those dangerous ketones that it releases from eating those fats. So tell me now why you should be fasting when you know that if you eat 7 o'clock in the morning, in the next 3-4 hours, you start feeling hungry. You say, okay, no, I'm not going to eat because I want my sugar level. What is going to happen? What is going to happen? You're going to cause yourself more harm. I'm going to tell you what is going to happen because the sugar level is either going to go up or if it's not, it's going to go down because there's no energy. So I don't know why some people have this fantasy of, should I fast? What are you fasting for? You're diabetic. If you're not a diabetic, that's a different thing entirely. You're supposed to stabilize your sugar level. When that time you are experiencing a symptom of fatigue and tiredness, you check your sugar level that is okay, my sugar level is not depleted, you top it up. That is why they say eat every 4 hours, but eat it in a smaller quantity so that you don't have that hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. All right, I've said enough. Let's go to Brian. Uh, let's see what he said. No, what I meant was there is some new sugar monitoring machine called sensors that I thought I can enlighten us about different from normal glucose. You are talking about CGM. You are talking about CGM. Hold on, it's called CGM. It's called glucose monitoring machine. Okay. Eric, this is what you are referring to. It's called CGM. Okay. It's called CGM. If that's what you are talking about, I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain that. Okay. It's called continuous glucose monitoring machine. It's called CGM. There are different types. Okay. You wear it. Okay. It's a wearable device that tracks blood glucose every few minutes. It depends how you set it up. I've discussed that before with you guys. Okay. There are some people that are scared of needle, so they use CGM. CGM is very expensive. Not everybody can afford it. There are different types. Okay, there are different type of CGM. It's called continuous glucose monitoring device. So it's a wearable device, okay, that can track your blood glucose every few minutes, depending how you program it throughout the day and night. Okay, then the reading is relayed in a real time to your phone or to your computer, however you set it up. So it saves you time from piercing your finger. It's going to tell you what time your sugar level, if your sugar level is high, low, or it's too much, it's going to relay it in a real time. So we call it CGM. So just hold on a minute. I need to block somebody here. Just hold on. Brian, I'm coming to your distant place. Just hold on. I'm coming to your question. I just want to finish. So CGM, I'm talking about CGM. Eric, I don't know what you want to know about that device. What I mean was that there's some new sugar monitoring device called CGM that we thought different from the normal glucose. Yeah, as I said, I'm answering this. This is, we call it CGM. It's a continuous glucose monitoring machine. There are different types. Okay, there are different types. We call it CGM. There are people that are scared of needles, or they are tired of every time piercing their finger, so they go and get CGM. But CGM, it depends. As I said, it's expensive. Okay, and so most of the CGM doctor is going to prescribe it for you. Doctor is going to prescribe it for you. Most of these devices have to come with prescriptions, and it depends if you can afford it, because it's expensive. That is why the lancet, the one you pierce your finger, is the most cheapest one. So as I said, it's a continuous monitoring machine. It's a wearable device, okay, that is going to inform you when your sugar level is high, low, or moderate, or there's something you are doing. It's going to relay the way you program it on your phone or your computer. It's going to send it in a real time. So once your sugar level drops, it's going to send it, and it's going to beep on your phone. You look at it, okay, to alert you your sugar level is low or too high. So instead of you forgetting to check your blood sugar level or pierce your hand, You don't need to, because you already program it on your phone or your computer. So it's going to be sending it every 30 minutes or every minute or every 1 hour to your phone with an alarm. And then you look at it, and it's going to record it automatically. Okay, it's going to record it automatically. Like instead of you having this logbook here, it's going to record it that you can print it out or you can share it with your doctor. Okay, but as I said, okay, it's very expensive. And that CGM, okay, that CGM is not something you can use permanently. You have to change it. I think every 30 days you have to get a new one. Every 30 days you have to get a new one. So, so as I said, it's very expensive. It ranges from $100 to $300 to $1,000. So it depends. It depends if you can afford it. Okay. I'm going to show you guys something here. Just hold on. Just hold on. I'm going to share something with you guys here. Let me see something here. Jane, you're welcome. Sorry, I didn't forget about you. I'm trying to finish with Eric, and I go to Brian question. So this is what I'm talking about. Eric is a continuous glucose monitoring machine. CGM is a wearable device that tracks. You guys can read it. You guys can read it before I remove it, and then I want to share some. I want to show you guys how it look like. I want to show you guys how it look like, so you guys can read it before I remove it. All right, I'm going to remove it now. So that Eric, I believe you see what it is. So I'm going to remove it, and then I'm going to. Sorry, I forgot to share you guys a link. Those who want to join live, if you want to join live on this program, this is a link. Open the link on your phone. Okay, the link is there now. Open it on your browser or your phone, and follow the instruction for those who wants to join live, who want to ask their question, who want to join me live now. So follow the link. Just open it in your browser on your phone, and then it's going to direct you how to join the program live. So if you want to ask your questions or make any comments, you can follow that link. All right. Now, now let me show you guys, Eric, Brian. I'm going to answer your question next. Let me finish with. I see your Brian. Brian says, "Doctor, if one is managing our sugar level very well, can age increase the risk of diabetic complication?" Brian, I'm coming to your question. Let me finish with your. Okay. So, okay, so you guys can see this now. Eric, you see what is called CGM? There are different types. You see the way it is here on your arm here. Okay, so you put it on. It's going to last for 30 days. You have to change it every 30 days. Okay, so it's going to be on your arm. You put the implant it on your arm, and then it's going to be sending the information to your phone. You can see it's going to alert you the way you program it. The way you program it is going to be sending you the information to your phone. When your sugar level is high, low, or if there's anything wrong, it's going to alert you. You can take a shower with it. You don't need to remove it. You can take a shower with it. Okay, sleep with it. Do anything with it. Okay, so it's going to save you. It's going to save you time of writing it on the book like this. Okay, it's going to save you time writing on the book because it's going to create a log automatically, so you can print it out, you can share it out with your doctor. Okay, but as I said, it is very, very expensive. Okay, the cheapest here, the cheapest I've seen it in the shop here is about $300. Okay, so it depends. It has many features. It depends on the feature you want. It has many features. If you want the one that can last you for 3 months, the price is bigger. It means you cannot change it for 3 months. It's going to be in your arm for 3 months. If you want the one for 1 month, it's more cheaper but less app. There are a lot of features in it. So the more feature you go, the more expensive it is. Okay, so the cheapest is $300. So if you convert it in your currency, you know if you can afford it. And then this CGM is not something you can go to the shop and buy. You must get a prescription from a doctor to go and buy it. I don't know about Africa, but here you have to get a prescription. Doctor have to prescribe it to you for you to go to the pharmacy and get it. All right. Mostly it's covered by government because it's very expensive. So when you get a prescription, most of these things is covered by government. Government pay for it, or if you have insurance pay for it. Here. But the one you pierce your hand, also government covers it. Not everybody can afford it. Okay, so that is what CGM is, continuous glucose monitoring machine or device. So that is what it is. Eric, I believe I've answered your question. Is any other question, Eric? All right. Okay, so let me answer Brian's question now. Let's go to Brian's question and let me see what it says. This is another one here. Let me go to Brian's question. Let me see what Brian. Okay. So Brian says, Brian, are you there? Is Brian still there? Okay. Eric, what do you mean by no? I don't understand you. You said no. I don't understand, Eric. Okay. Brian says if one manage his or her sugar level very well, can age increase the risk of diabetes complication? Yeah, your age can, yes. Age plays a role. Age plays a role in your complications. All right? Yes, age plays a role. When the younger you are, the better for you the way you manage your diabetes. Okay? Remember, we are deviating from what we are discussing. So we're going to return back to what we are, but let me finish answering the questions and then we'll go to what we are discussing. Is Grace still there? Let me see. Is Grace? Jane, are you still here? Grace, are you still here? Our newcomer, what's her name? Gabrieline, are you still here? Gabrieline, are you still here? Grace, are you still here? I want you guys to confirm. I want to know who is here. Okay. Okay, Bridget, you say you're just joining now. All right. You're welcome. Okay, Gabrieline, are you still here? Now, Brian wants to know if age can play a role in your diabetes complication, and I said yes. Your age plays a vital role. Remember, at your age now, the way you manage your diabetes, age plays various roles in terms of diabetic complications, even in terms of your medication, your lifestyle. Age plays a vital role. For instance, at your age, for instance, if you're at 40 now, you were able to manage your diabetes effectively better at age of 40 because you can understand what the doctor is talking. You can adjust the kinds of food you eat Now, in terms of your target sugar range is going to be different from a man that is in 70, 80. Say, for instance, if you have to keep your sugar level within 7 milligram per deciliter, and the man that is around 70, his or her sugar level is going to be around 8 as a target, or 9. Anything above 9 is going to be over because of the age. Because at your age, okay, you're able to manage, understand, make lifestyle changes in terms of the kinds of food you eat. Your medication is going to be more stronger, okay, because you are still young. Say, for instance, if I give you a medication that has about 200 milligrams of force at the age of 40, the man that is at the age of 70, I can't give them a tablet that is 200 milligrams of dosage. I will give them about 60 or 50 or 80 because the heart rate and the liver condition is not the same as somebody who is in the age of 40. So age plays a part. The older you become, the weaker your immune system becomes, the weaker your organs. So if you are taking a medication that has 200 milligram dosage, you cannot give the same drug to your father that is in the age of 70 or 80 because the kidney might not carry it, might be weak, the heart rate might be weak. So that is why in terms of medications, that's why I've said it several times, you cannot share medication with your family because I know you are trying to save help, but in a medical world, you could be charged for murder, for killing somebody by drug poisoning because you gave them a drug that is not meant for them, even though you are trying to help. So if you have somebody in the age of 80 and is sick, you have to take them to the doctor to check them out and then prescribe them drug according to their age and then their body. Now, the man that is at the age of 60 might have other underlying illnesses. He might be hypertensive, have a cholesterol issue, have diabetic, or have other underlying illnesses. And he doesn't have it. So you see that the complication that he's going to have with you might be different. He's going to have a lot of complication because the older he becomes, the more complication, because he will not be able to manage it when he's at the age of 40. Because at the age of 70, 80, he's getting weaker. Okay, so he's going to be, he's going to see illnesses coming in. Except you are one of the children that is well-to-do, that can afford it, that can provide them a very good health system and a very good health care. Then you see, even at the age of 80, they can still live strong. That is why sometimes look at all these politicians that are present, like my president, Nigerian president. I don't know which word to use to qualify him. He's a grandfather. He's a great-great-great-grandfather. He's not even supposed to be in their seat. But you could see him moving around because when they are sick, they go overseas and get a very good healthcare system. That is why I see them help. If you check in Africa now, at his age, bring somebody that is the same age with him. That person cannot even stand up. So except you are well-to-do that can provide them a very good medical system, then they'll be able to withstand that age. So age plays a vital role in terms of everything. At your age at 40, you might avoid some complications. At the age of 70, you might not even avoid some complications. Because there will be falls. At the age of 70, 80, they'll develop a tendency of falling, misstepping, and then they fall. Or their blood sugar always fluctuating. Most of the time, see their blood sugar always fluctuating. And then their behavioral, the more you grow older, your behavioral change. You tend to behave like a kid. You see, when you start getting older, you see them start thinking like a kid. That is why they say a child is going to take care of their father or their parent when they get old. Because when they start getting older, you see their behavioral changes start diminishing. Okay, so they will need that care. So they are the tendency of falling. Each time they fall, they might have an injury that is going to expose them to infections. So yes, age plays a vital role in terms of complication. Even though you are controlling your diabetes, age is vital. So that is why, for instance, let me give you guys another example. Another example. Julie, you're welcome. Let me give you guys another example. Watch all those people that play sports right from their childhood, who are athletes. I don't know which country you are, Brian, Zambia. Who is your runner? Who is your soccer player or somebody who is athletic? Check those who are athletic. For instance, there's this Kenyan man. Who is this Kenyan guy that run long distance? Can you give me his name? I've forgotten that name. That name is a Kenyan guy that used to run athletic. I mean, long run that wants a lot of gold. Can you give me his name? Someone should give me his name. He's a Kenyan guy. Give me that. Someone should give me that name. I want to use his name as an example. It's a Kenyan guy, or yeah, I know it's a Kenyan guy. If not Kenya, there's another. It's one African. You know, they are good in long distance, long marathon. It's a marathon runner. What's that? Is it a Kenyan guy or Ethiopian guy? Yes. Someone should give me that name, please. They are good in marathon. So what am I trying to say? Okay, those people that are athletic, right from their childhood, right from school, they are athletic and they run it up to professional. You could see that even at the age of 80, 90, they are healthy. You see them still strong. Why? Because the way, right from the way they train their body physically, if you are physically exercising, that is what I told you guys, exercise. You see, the exercise you are doing today is going to help you at your age, at your old age. That is why you see people that are not involved in exercise, when they get 50, 60, they start falling sickness from one sickness to another, from one sickness. They don't even live long. They don't even enjoy their old age. Okay? So the exercise you are doing today at your younger age, you are going to see the benefit when you start getting old. That is what, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Look at him. If you look at him now, or Sylvester Stallone, look at their age. At their age, they still look healthy because they have built their body with exercise. And at their old age now, they are enjoying it. So you have to, if you know that you are diabetics, you have to make sure you involve yourself in physical exercise, train your body to recognize exercise. Because at your older age, that is when you're going to see the benefit of exercising at this young age. Exercise is very important. All right. So, Brian, I believe I've answered your question. Bridget, you're welcome. Grace, you are still here. Gabrieline is no more here. Julie, you're welcome. The topic we're discussing today, that's the topic on the screen there. Let me remove. Okay, sorry, I have this thing here. This is the topic we're discussing today on the screen. So we deviated from the topic I was trying to say. You know, we are still on the bedtime. The first one we are discussing are checking your blood sugar level. Okay, checking your blood sugar level. And I shared, and then I told you guys the importance of checking your sugar level. Okay, what happens if you check your sugar level? Okay, I shared a lot of things with you guys. Okay, I said, let me go start over again. No, I'm not going to start. I'm just going to run the bullet points. Okay. This is what I just said. If you're having diabetes, can make it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. But there are things you can do to improve your bedtime routines. This is the first thing you have to do before go to bed is check your blood sugar level. That's what we are discussing before I start getting questions. And then the importance of checking your blood sugar level. I said bedtime is another time to test. It is a good idea to keep your blood sugar level goal at a bedtime in the range of 80 to 180 milligrams per deciliter. All right. Now, testing at bedtime at least 1 to 2 weeks is going to give you a pattern. You're going to see a pattern. Once you start testing your sugar level before you fall asleep, go to bed, a pattern is going to develop. It's going to tell you either they are doing something wrong or not, because remember there are fluctuations. It's going to dictate a pattern, and that pattern is going to dictate what happens next. If your blood sugar level is high before bedtime, it is more likely to stay high overnight and be above target. That's why you see some people, when they go to test in the morning, you see their sugar level high because of what happened the previous night. That's why I say the pattern, it develops the pattern. Okay. Now, if this happens, what happens? If you start to notice that your blood sugar is often above the target range at bedtime, there are steps you can take to resolve it, to correct that pattern, or you discuss with your doctor. So this is where we stop before I start getting questions. So what are those steps? let's look at those steps. What are those steps? You're welcome. So let's look at what are those steps. Okay, here let's look at what are those steps to correct those patterns. Okay, the first step you have to do is to change the type, timing or dose of your medications or insulin. Okay, we are discussing this now. If you start noticing that your blood sugar is above a target range before bedtime, we are discussing the steps to correct a starting pattern developing each time you want to go to bed, and then you notice a pattern. And what are those steps? I say one is to change the type, timing, and the dose of your medication or insulin. So the type of the medication and the timing of your medication or the dosage of your medication or insulin, you change it. That's what I mean. Okay. 2, eat supper early. That I've told you guys, eat your dinner early. Do not eat it after 7. You must eat it before 7. Anything after 7 must be a lighter snacks or a fruit. So okay. So 2, eat your dinner early or supper early. Eat it before 7, not after 7. Number 3, okay, decrease the amount of carbohydrates in your supper meal or bedtime snack. Number 3, decrease. Okay, somebody's telling me I should write it down so that okay. Somebody's telling me I should write it down, so let me put it down. So we are talking about the steps to take. So I say 1, change the timing or dose of your medication or insulin. Okay, that's the steps. 2, eat your supper early. I've told you guys, eat your dinner before 7 p.m. You can't eat after 7 p.m. Okay. And then 3, decrease the amount of carbohydrate in your supper meal or bedtime snack. That's number 3. Number 4, increase the amount of protein at your supper meal or bedtime. So while you are decreasing your carbohydrate, increase the protein in that meal, your dinner meal. Decrease the amount of carbohydrate, increase the protein. Okay, that's number 4. And then the last one, number 5, is, I've told you guys this thing before. Number 5 is get out for walk or do another activities after supper. I've told you guys this thing before, that when you finish your dinner, don't just finish dinner and go to your lunch and they start watching TV. And then the next thing, you're going to bed. Go and take a walk. Okay, walk. If your country is not secure to walk in the street, walk in the compound. Go out in your compound, lock the gates, and then walk around in your compound. Okay, walk around in your compound so that your food is going to metabolize. I have Diane, you're welcome. Okay, so those are the steps to take. If you notice a pattern while checking your sugar level, a pattern is developing. So take these steps to correct it. Okay, take those steps to correct it. Now, let's talk about Let's talk about what is Down phenomenon. We're going to talk about Down phenomenon. This is what we're going to discuss now. Down phenomenon. You guys have been hearing that word. Okay, this is the next thing again. Be wary of Down phenomenon. So what is Down phenomenon? Remember, I told you guys, just be patient, be patient. I see what you're writing, but just be patient. I'm going to come to that. So I've discussed this thing about Down phenomenon. And before we started, I'll give you guys an illustrations about Down phenomenon. Even in the middle of the night when you are sleeping, you can experience this. There's a fluctuation in your blood sugar levels even while you are asleep, and that can affect the way you sleep. That's why you see sometimes you are rolling from one end to in your bed, rolling or trying to kick your wife or your husband out of bed. You know, your head is going to be in Jamaica and your leg is going to be in South Africa. Okay, so it's like you don't even know there are two people sharing the bed because you are experiencing fluctuation in your sugar level, and sometimes you are wondering, why am I sweating? Well, all of a sudden in the middle of the night, even when the weather is cold, I'm sweating. There's a fluctuation in your sugar level. Maybe your sugar level has dropped below the normal level, and you start sweating, and you have to treat that symptoms immediately. Even if it is in the middle of the night, you have to wake up to treat that symptom, because sweating, when you are sweating profusely, it's a symptoms of hypoglycemia, and it must be treated immediately. Now, what is Down phenomenon? As I just explained about the fluctuation of your sugar level, Down phenomenon, this we call it down effect or Down phenomenon. What happened is that between 2 a.m. when you are sleeping, between 2 a.m. and when you are sleeping and 8 a.m., that is when your sugar level is always high, dangerously high. That's what we call Down phenomenon. Okay, when you start experiencing your sugar level peak or rises between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. In between this time, you experience a spike in your sugar level. We call it Down phenomenon. Okay, early morning Down phenomenon. Okay, your blood sugar might spike. This means that your blood sugar may be high in the morning even before you eat anything. All right. Now, what are the cause of this Down phenomenon? Do you guys have any question? Do you guys have any question? What are the cause of this Down phenomenon? All right. Now, remember, we are talking about routine. All these are the things you have to identify the cause and then try to resolve it, because all these things have effect while you are sleeping. Okay. Now, there are different causes of why you have Down phenomenon. It could be a hormone release early in the morning that increases insulin resistance. One, maybe your body produces a certain hormone, okay, early in the morning that increases your insulin resistance. It could be any hormone, and it disturbs the manner your insulin function, and then you have anything that disturbs the way your insulin function will not have an effect in the accumulation of your sugar level in your bloodstream, and that is why you have that surge or spike in your sugar level. So there may be a hormone that your body releases, and it interferes in the way that your insulin functions. That is what we call insulin resistance. And anything that interferes that makes it harder for your insulin to do its work will cause a spike in your sugar level. So that is one. Or the next cause of this Down phenomenon is when you have insufficient insulin or medication left in your body from the night before. Say, for instance, you drink, what did I just say? Insufficient insulin or medication left in your body from a night before. What did I just say? Again, you drink a medication on Tuesday night, no, let me use Monday night. You take your medication or you take your insulin, depending if you're independent on insulin, or you take your medication on Monday night, and then on Tuesday night, you forgot to take your medication. And then on Wednesday, you remember you have to take a medication. So you see that one day has gone. Tuesday, you didn't take any medication, I just went to bed. So now you are going to be left with the insufficient insulin or medication that is left in your body because you missed Tuesday. A night before, that can also help why you have this surge in your blood sugar spike, what we call Down phenomenon. Okay? Or the third one is that you consume food that have too much of carbohydrate at supper or before bed. That is why I've told you guys, eat your food before 7. And if you're going to eat, even that's before your meal, make sure you don't eat. There shouldn't be too much of carbohydrate in it. Okay? Make sure that food doesn't have, because it's going to have an effect in your Down phenomenon. So another cause, if you eat food at supper or before bedtime that has too much carbohydrate in it, that can cause you to have Down phenomenon. Okay? And then the last one is if you have a sugar release or glucose release from your liver. When your liver releases glucose into the bloodstream from the liver, okay, then that can cause you to have surge in your sugar spikes and you experience Down phenomenon in between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. Okay, so that is the causes of Down phenomenon. So do you guys have any question on this? Do you guys have any question on this particular one? Do you have any question? Okay, your question is not relevant, so I'm going to just leave it because what you're asking me is not pertaining what we're discussing, and it's not even pertaining medical. So I'm going to leave it. So do we have any other question? So now the question we're going to have is, how do you manage Down phenomenon? Okay. How do you manage Down? The best way to manage Down phenomenon is your medication or your insulin. Okay, to manage your Down phenomenon. Adequate taking your insulin at the appropriate time or your medication at the appropriate time, and then testing your sugar level before bedtime or even waking up at 3 a.m. to test your sugar level again to make sure everything is falling into place. Remember, Down phenomenon occurs between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. So you might one night wake up around 3 a.m., set up your alarm, wake up around 3 a.m., check your sugar level to make sure it is not high. As I said, the best way to manage Down phenomenon is through medication or your insulin and then exercising. These are the best way. There's no other way to manage Down phenomenon is to make sure that you never skip taking your medications or your insulin. Take them at the right time as prescribed, and then wake up around 3 a.m. to check for you to know if you are still experiencing that Down phenomenon. Because when you check and you see that it's not what is working, then you know that, okay, things are falling into place. But if it continues, then it means you have to see your doctor about it. But the best way to manage Down phenomenon is to make sure you take your medications at the appropriate time with your insulin, and then go to the causes. Understand the causes. If it has to do with your carbohydrate intake during your supper time, you limit it. Okay, and make sure you don't eat any heavy food close to your bedtime. So these are the way to manage your Down phenomenon. Okay, do we have any question? Because I said we are going to spend 1 hour. This will 1 hour, almost 1 hour 30 minutes. So I'm almost rounding up now because I have a game to watch. I want to watch a soccer game, so that's why I wanted to spend 1 hour here. So do we have a game? Do you have question? Do we have question here? Bridget, do you have any question? Brian, Eric, who is here again? Mohammed, Diane, do you guys have any question? Julie, how are you? Do you have any question for me? Now, the last one I'm going to discuss, this is the last one, and then we call it a day, is to limit stimulant. Okay, limit stimulant before going to bed. What do I mean by limiting stimulants? Avoid caffeine. Avoid taking coffee before your bedtime. Okay, a few hours before your bedtime. So that's what I mean, limit stimulants. Source of caffeine include coffee or some teas or chocolate. So limit stimulants. Don't take anything that contains a lot of stimulant before your bedtime, because that's going to have an effect on your sugar level. Or drinking soda. Okay, soda contains a lot of stimulant also. So caffeine or soda close to your bedtime, limit it or stay away from it, because that's going to have an effect in your sugar level. So caffeinated food and drinks are stimulants and can keep you awake. For some people having diabetics, okay, having caffeine at any time in the afternoon makes it harder to sleep later. Or even if you take caffeine or anything that is caffeinated, okay, close to your bedtime, it's going to make you to stay awake and it's going to affect your sugar level. So limit also alcohol intake. Alcohol is very important. If you're taking alcohol, smokes, stop all those things. Do not even drink any alcohol close to your, as a diabetic. If you're still drinking alcohol as a diabetic, then it means you are, I don't know which planet are you from. Because once you're dealing with diabetics, you have to stop taking your alcohol and even smokes. All those things are going to have an effect or make it harder for you to manage your diabetics. So limit alcohol intake, smoking, also limit them. All those things contain stimulant that is going to have a major effect on your sugar level while asleep or even close to your bedtime. So that's why I say limit stimulants. Stimulants, stay away from them. Caffeinated drinks, soda, alcohol intake, smoking, stay away from all those things. Those are going to have a major effect to your bedtime routines. And once we are diabetics, you got to stop smoking, you got to stop drinking alcohol. All right. So these are the things you have to do close to your bedtime to make sure you are managing your diabetics. All right. To make sure you're managing your diabetes properly. All right. So, do we have any question? Because I'm about to round up now. I have to allow you guys to rest because I have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like I'm giving you guys too many. It's like I'm giving you guys too many teachings. So I'm going to allow you guys to rest. Tomorrow, Monday, there will be no teaching tomorrow, Monday, maybe Tuesday. So I'm going to give you guys a break for Monday. So tomorrow, Monday, there will be no teaching. I'm not going to be live. So I'm going to give you guys Monday off. And then Tuesday, we'll take it up from there. All right. Are we in agreement? How many of you have subscribed to my TikTok? I haven't seen any of you in my TikTok. I told you guys we'll have a new page on TikTok. Did I share? I think I shared a page yesterday on the live on the video. So I shared a page yesterday. I haven't seen any of you following me on my TikTok. Nobody is following me on my TikTok. I haven't seen anybody from here following me on my TikTok. Not liking it's not, when you liking is different from following, you know. So if you go and like, it does not count. It has to be following. So I haven't seen any of you following me on my TikTok. We need to increase the audience. So that is why I opened the TikTok page. All right. But for us to do, I don't know, but for us to do a live stream on TikTok, you must have 1,000 followers. You must have 1,000 followers on TikTok for them to allow you to do live. I tried to do live streaming today, and you need to have 1,000 followers on TikTok. All right, Eric, see you in the next 1 year again, as usual. Bye. Rushing to work. Okay. Enjoy your walk. See you. All right. See you later. Okay. So, friends, if you guys don't have any question, I'm gonna let you guys go for now. All right. Let's meet again on Tuesday. Monday, tomorrow, Monday, there'll be no live streaming. I'm gonna take Monday off. Okay, and reboot myself for Tuesday. So Monday, tomorrow, there'll be no live session. But you guys, there are videos that will be dropping Monday. So you guys keep watching those videos. Keep watching the videos, and then Tuesday we'll do the live broadcast. Okay. So friends, in the absence of any question, okay, Mike, thank you, Mike. All right. So Tuesday, I'm going to see you guys on Tuesday. Monday, tomorrow, there'll be no live session. Tuesday is when I'm going to be having a live session with you guys. So keep watching the videos on the page there. Keep watching those videos, and then keep learning. And then make sure you are also doing the writing. Okay, Brian. Also make sure you're doing the writings to managing your diabetics. It's very important to manage your diabetics properly. Check your blood sugar levels, take your medication as required, exercise, reduce your weight, eat healthy and a balanced diet. Okay. Yeah, Brian, that's what I want to do. I want to watch Arsenal and Man City. That's what I want to go now. All right. So that's what I want to go. So I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a wonderful Sunday, Easter, and then enjoy your day. But make sure you are not carried away in eating too much. Carbohydrate, 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 carbohydrate. Have it in your brain. Carbs, 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 carbs. All right. So I love you guys. Bye bye. Bye bye.